Hello, folks. Thank you for waiting patiently there. I think we might be waiting on a couple more to join, and then we'll get started. Jack is going to be taking you through this presentation with us today. He's got a bit of a poorly throat, bless him, but I'm sure he can soldier on. Any questions? Please do enter them into the Q&A section of the Teams tab, and we'll get to them at the end. I'll give it just another minute or two and then get going. As you can probably see, Natural Cement made it into the festive season. You want to demonstrate yours, Jack?
Yeah, Christmas jumper day. Our officers today.
He's just recycled one from last year.
At least it still fits.
Silver linings, little victories.
Do you want to make a start? Should we crack on?
Happy for it.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. My name is Jack Edwards. I'm Sales and Technical Manager for Natural Cement. And the presentation I've got for this morning is on cold weather working with natural cement products. So probably about 30 minutes in total. I try and keep it short and sweet and keep it interesting. So this is a format of how I'm going to run through things. I'll start off with a bit of an introduction as to what is NATCEM, as in short for natural cement. I'll run through some of the sort of properties of the natural cement and explain how the products work. I'll then run through some of the product range and run through a few different applications in which the products are used for, sort of explain the differences between one product to the other. Then what's going to be sort of focused today is cold weather working. So working down temperatures 0 degrees and possibly below using natural cement products. Then I've got a section on set, cure and strength gain, how the temperatures affect that and the sort of differences between cure and strength gain, which can cause a bit of confusion sometimes. Just to sort of clarify that. Then I've got 2 or 3 different projects, examples of natural cement products being used in cold weather situations. So as I said, probably about 20 to 30 minutes in total. If anyone has got any questions, as James mentioned, you can type them in the Q&A tab or in the chat, and then we'll visit them at the end and try and then answer them all. To start off with a little bit of introduction as to who we are, Natural Cement. So we manufacture products based on a natural cement binder. So a natural cement binder forms the base of all the product range. That's what gives us all the unique properties, which I'll run through shortly. But generally speaking, the range is made up of mortars, grouts, and sprayed concrete products. So natural cement binder itself has been around for almost 200 years. It's not a new technology. It's just this old product, if you like. It still outperforms a lot of modern alternatives. So what is NATCEM? NATCEM is a particular type of cement. It's a natural cement manufactured from a particular type of stone. The stone itself is called an argillaceous limestone, which is a natural stone, which is basically a mixture of limestone and clay, which gives us a number of unique properties. So during the production process, it's basically taken out of the ground, heated, ground to a powder, and then we use it. So during that production process, nothing's added, nothing's taken away, and that's what makes this a natural product as opposed to a manufactured type cement or Portland type cement, where you still be taking limestone as your base, but then you generally take a combination of different minerals, additives to try and make it perform in a certain way. Whereas the natural cement, all the properties we get from it naturally. So here are some of the sort of main properties that we get from a natural cement. The first thing being is a very fast set. So the cement itself, once it's been produced and ground to a powder, if you were to add that to water, the natural setting time is around 90 seconds to 2 minutes. So there's very, very fast setting. That's without need for any accelerators or anything to speed up that process. So we've got a product called Water Stop, which is a plug for sealing against leaks. Like I said, that is our natural cement in its raw form. That will set in around 90 seconds to 2 minutes once that's been added to water. Beyond that, when the materials are set in 2 minutes, obviously you can't do much else with it. So one thing we do add is a retarder to delay that setting time and achieve a more workable mix, and then make that into the other products that we supply. The retarder that we use in the natural products, citric acid, which I'll run through shortly. As well as setting very fast, the products also get strong very quickly. They've got very high early compressive strength and ultimate compressive strength. So it's these two properties really, the fast setting nature and the rapid strength gain, that mean the products lend themselves well to repair work and remedial work, especially in areas where you want to get in, get something done quickly and put it back into service as soon as possible. The products also have natural waterproofing properties, so they can be used for both positive and negative water pressure. That's either keeping water in structures or keeping water out. And they will also set underwater, and they'll essentially perform exactly the same underwater as they do out of water. So they've got anti-washout properties. The products also have a high chemical resistance, mainly being sulfates, nitrates, and chlorides, but they are resistant to quite a wide range of chemicals and a wide range of pHs on the scale. And the last point on this slide, which is what we're going to be sort of focusing on today, is because of the difference in chemistry natural cement to Portland cement, the product will actually set down to 0 degrees and below. A few more properties. So the products are safe for use for potable water. We've got 6 different products which are DDI approved for direct contact with potable water. Because of the very fine particle size of cement, it bonds to other surfaces very well. It's got excellent adhesion, doesn't often require any sort of bonding aids. And also because another big difference in the chemistry of natural cement and Portland cement is that with a natural cement, it cures very quickly. So that means it can be overcoated, it can be painted, it can be plastered as soon as an hour after the initial setting time. So a massive time-saving benefit. Again, I'll run through that in a bit more detail a little bit later. The products are easy to use. It mix powder up for 2 minutes and then apply it. Very, very, very straightforward. And lastly, the products also have no shelf life. So if you look on any bags of material, it'll have a batch number which references the manufacturer date, but there's no limited shelf life as long as it's kept in decent dry conditions. So just to run through the sort of range of products that we supply, all the products are based on the same natural cement binder. So all of the properties that I've just run through, these will be common for throughout the range. If you do look for our website or our literature, you'll see that we've not actually got masses of different products. The reason being is they are all multi-use products. They're all suitable for lots of different applications. So NATCEM 35, I'll use as an example. That is one of our repair mortars, which is basically a mixture of natural cement, sand, and retarder. That can be used for applications for anything from a minimum of 10 millimeters. It can be used for repairing concrete structures. It can be applied as a waterproof render. It's got waterproofing properties. It can be used on the floor as a screed. It can be used for repointing. It can be used for grouting. And that's just one product, and that's a similar theme really throughout the range. The products are all multi-use products suitable for lots of different applications. If you do go through our website and look on the products tab, you can actually filter the products similar to when you're shopping for clothes and filtering by size or brand, whatever it is. You can filter by application method, application thickness, application approval, and filter down to which product's going to be suitable for what it is you need, which is a really useful tool. So as I mentioned, all the products are based on the same natural cement binder. The only thing that tends to really change from one product to the next is the retarder, which is citric acid, another natural product. It's basically lemon juice in powdered form. By adding that during manufacture, that means we can control the set. The longest setting product we do is around an hour, so the products are all fairly fast setting. So as well as controlling the set, or the other thing that tends to change is the aggregate size. So the aggregate will govern the minimum thickness the product can be applied, and that will result in different strengths and different finishes depending on what the product's going to be achieved for. Like I said, by altering these ingredients, we can cater for most sort of applications, but the most common application that the products are used for the ones listed on this slide, predominantly repairing concrete structures, waterproofing. As I mentioned earlier, products have got natural waterproofing properties, so they can be used for either keeping water in structures or keeping water out. Screeding, particularly in areas where you need to get something done quickly and overcoat it quickly because of the short curing periods of natural cement. Grouting, that can be any sort of general void filling stabilisation, especially in areas where you need water needs to displace or areas of water ingress. Underwater construction or underwater repairs, because the materials will set underwater, they'll perform exactly the same underwater as they will out of water, ideal for any sort of underwater work. Then lastly, we also supply a range of spray concrete products, so ideal for areas which are possibly too labour intensive to carry out by hand, or areas where the spray concretes that we do tend to sort of set in sort of anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes. So especially usually in areas again where you want to get something done quickly, or in and around areas with water ingress again. So now I'm going to focus on some of the sort of cold weather properties. That's a sort of main sort of theme of the presentation today. So as we know, as we get into these sort of temperatures around this time of year, it can be very, very difficult to keep projects moving through the winter months if you're using products which can't be used at low temperatures. Time and time again, we'll get phone calls in sort of middle of December, January, February, wherever it may be. We've got a contract, we've got on site, we're using X products. The temperatures are too low. You can't be using it below 5 degrees. Have you got anything that we can use to finish the project? And the answer is usually yes. But like I said, it can be very, very difficult to keep projects moving through the winter months and making materials certain rather than delaying projects to the spring. With natural cement products, they can be used down to 0 degrees as standard working temperatures are sort of 0 degrees and rising, but they have actually been used successfully much lower than 0 degrees as well. If the products are using around that sort of temperatures, around 0 degrees, we'd recommend using warm water. That will accelerate the initial setting time, which will then kick in the strength gain, which will then mean they sort of run parallel to what it was at a higher temperature. But if you were using in sort of really extreme temperatures, the lowest we've been around to our knowledge is around minus 15 degrees. If you use anything sort of below minus 5 degrees, you would have to put further special precautions in place. All I would say is if you were working in those sort of temperatures, just contact us and we can write a specific method statement on what you can do. It's quite simple, really, keeping the surface free of frost using warm water, etc. But like I said, these products will provide examples sorry, options for keeping projects moving through these sort of real extreme temperatures. So the next point, I'll run through some of the sort of differences in setting times, curing periods, and strength gain. So these are three separate processes with any product, not just natural cement product, any sort of cementitious product. Any sort of cementitious product will have a period of initial setting time, which is the period of the product going from a pliable state to firming up and stiffening up. Then that's usually followed by a period of cure, which is allowing for chemical reaction to take place, usually allowing products to hydrate, etc. Then concurrently will be followed by a period of strength gain over the following days, weeks, and months. So something to sort of clarify is when we say natural cement products have a short curing period or don't require any curing period, just because the material is fully cured, it doesn't mean it's reached its ultimate strengths. It will continue to gain strength after that period. So with the natural cement products, we will say an hour after the initial setting time, that product will be fully cured. So it can be put back into service, it can be overcoated, it can be painted, it can be plastered, depending on the sort of conditions. But that doesn't mean it's reached its ultimate strength. It will continue to gain strength after that period. Sometimes those two sort of terms can get used interchangeably between the cure and the strength gain. People say sort of like 28-day cure, for instance, but they are two separate processes. So with the temperature, obviously we're talking about working in lower temperatures. The temperature will affect the set time of the product. So in lower temperatures, the set will be longer. In higher temperatures, the set will be quicker. Excuse me. So as I mentioned a couple of slides ago, in low temperatures, by using warmer water, that will accelerate the setting time to make the initial set quicker. The curing period with natural cement products will always remain the same. So in a lower temperature, although the set will be longer, the cure will still be 1 hour after the initial setting time. In higher temperatures, although the set will be quicker, the cure will be 1 hour after the initial setting time. So that period always sort of remains the same. This slide just gives you sort of an example of the difference in setting time and using the products at lower temperatures. So this is taken from our IFU, our instructions for use document, something that we use for the water industry specifically, especially, excuse me, especially in terms of product approval. We have to supply this document to set the exact conditions in which the products are installed at. So over the sort of previous years, it can be quite a bit of confusion sometimes. So we used to have all the sort of setting times and the strength gains, everything in the document was always based on 20 degrees. But we've now included a table that you can see on this slide to sort of show the difference in how the temperature will affect the initial setting time. So you can see on this particular slide, for instance, we're looking at 7 degrees setting time between sort of 60 to 75 minutes for our NATCEM 35, which is called 35 because it sets up to 35 minutes, but that is based on 20 degrees, as you can see, 20 degrees lab conditions. You're always going to get some sort of differentiation on site anyway. But as I just mentioned, these setting times, especially at lower temperatures, these can be sped up and also by using warm water to accelerate that initial setting time. And the curing period will still remain 1 hour after the initial set. So as well as the curing period, sort of the initial setting time, there's also the degree to the strength gain after. So the strength gain will also be affected by the particular temperatures, which is why if you can accelerate that initial setting time to increase, sorry, the initial setting time by using warm water, that will kick in the strength gain sooner. This is just an example, again, using the same product, NATCEM 35. You can see the sort of strengths that are achievable. Obviously, these are all based on 20 degrees lab conditions. You'll get some slight differentiation on site, but the strength gain is very, very similar, even at a lower temperature, if you're using warm water to accelerate that initial setting time. Another unique property to a natural cement is the fact that even after the 28-day period, the strength gain will be quite considerable. So you do get a certain degree of that really with all cementitious products, but with a natural cement product, it is much more prevalent. So after 12 months, the strength gain will probably go up on average around 50% as to what it was at 28 days. So even if you are working in cold temperatures and the strength gain is taking slightly longer in the first instance, the product will also always meet the design requirement and always exceed that requirement because it will continually gain strength, like I said, even after the 28-day period. And so now I've just got a few different project examples showing how natural cement products give options in keeping projects moving through the winter months. The first one I'm going to show is a tower block refurbishment. This was a project carried out in Leeds a couple of years ago. So the contractor that was involved, a company called Freshcrete based in Leeds, they took out their works through October to February. So obviously they're working through the winter months, working through very, very cold conditions. They were carrying out repairs to steel balustrades and the concrete deck. You can see they suffered from the effects of corrosion. But as well as the option of keeping the project moving through the winter months, like I said, using natural cement products so they could work in those sort of low temperatures, there was also an issue with safety. By using natural cement products and the rapid strength gain that they have and the rapid setting times they have, even in cold temperatures, it meant that they could temporary waterway fencing wasn't required because they could carry out the repairs and cure them within one working shift. So, like I said, these could be put straight back into service. Obviously, there's residents living in there, so there's a safety aspect. So it meant they could carry out repairs through the winter months, put them straight back into service after one shift, and keep the project moving, which was a massive cost saving to the client rather than delaying until spring or rather than having to temporary fencing around the repairs before they were put back into service. Another project example, this was an example of our NATCEM 35 being used for concrete repairs or for repairing a sort of drain. This was in a car park at the entrance to a warehouse. This particular project was carried out in temperatures of -2, -3 degrees. You can see the sort of area. It was a sort of main route into the warehouse. So vehicles going to be travelling over this. Obviously, this is happening in winter. You need to get that repaired back up and running as quickly as possible. These sort of projects can't be delayed until the spring because they couldn't have the warehouse out of service. They need to get vehicles in and out of there. So by using natural cement products, again, they used NATCEM 35, used warm water to accelerate the initial setting time, and these were put straight back into service the following day. Vehicles travelling over that without any issues. So another good example. Like I said, in particular projects that sometimes can't be delayed to the spring, natural cement projects will give an option to keep using the project through the winter months. The last one, this is the reservoir refurbishment. This was carried out for Scottish Water by a specialist water industry company, Stonbury. They used our product NATCEM AC to carry out screed and concrete repairs to this particular reservoir. So again, they're working in the project through the winter months. The temperatures are around 1 degrees. So again, by using natural cement products, it meant they could keep the project using through the winter months rather than having to delay it to the spring. Obviously, some of the cost implications for delaying projects for months and months, waiting for products that you can use in those sort of conditions, with a massive knock-on effect in terms of construction programs and follow-on trades, etc., etc. So again, by using our product NATCEM AC, it meant they could use the project moving through the winter months without delaying it till the spring. And that's it for me. Thank you very much. A little bit quick, but if anybody's got any questions, by all means, please fire away.
Yeah, Jack has been plowing through that. I feel like I've caught a cough just listening to him.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it, as long as you're okay. I'm taking a look now at our chat and Q&A sections, and it looks like everybody seems to share a unanimous decision that your presentation is so insightful and thoughtful and informative that there's really nothing to ask, which is a good sign.
Yeah, well, either that or everybody's asleep. So I'd like to think it's the first one. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, Jack Cowan asks, thanks for that, Jack. Can we get access to this presentation? Is that something?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. So I'll what I can do is I should be able to share it in the meeting chat actually. So you can share a link to the slides, and there's a video recording it as well if you really want to watch it again, or you can share it with any colleagues. That's not a problem as well.
Good stuff. So, long story short, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, if we've not got any questions, thank you very much.
Oh,
Thanks everybody.
and
Thanks.
Anthony Holt asks, thanks for your time, Jack. Are these slides available to send out? Which I think we've, yeah, sort of
Yeah,
covered.
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll have a list of everyone's contacts as well, so we can share these after over
Yeah.
email or whatever. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you for your time, everybody. We hope this has been fun, insightful, a valuable use of time.
Thank you. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.